Hello, Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I am Hyper G. He is Lucky Sixes.
Yo, yo, yo.
How we doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. And excited to crack on with the Art of War stuff. I always like talking about Art of War.
I do. It's definitely the highlight of the whole calendar, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see the comment replies we had about your math hammer for your chosen knights?
Yes.
I think you did because you replied to it all.
Yes.
But basically, it was without magic, you were possibly not necessarily in your favour.
I mean, this is your bet, right? But go on to mine.
Yeah.
It is a drawback of the double herald is that they do need, if anybody's thinking about running this, and I've said this a few times on the forum. Actually, a few people have tagged me. They need a sorcerer apprentice.
Yes,
at
just
least
to give them a little bit of
with
extra.
like maybe the book or a sorcerer adept, just to give them a bit more combat support.
Yes.
So do that, guys.
Yeah,
we'll talk more about that at the end, I'm sure. But
yeah, and also the envy, because it is a non-combat buff. It just gets them there. Are they ill-suited to going against a similar unit that has got a combat buff?
Exactly. So
yeah,
it's been exciting to try it, but yeah, a few tweaks for sure.
Yeah, and thanks. I can't remember who it was who replied. That's really bad. I shouldn't have brought it out without remembering who it was. But yes, thank you to that person.
Yeah, and if that's not a incentive to keep commenting, we love all the chat. We love.
We don't remember who you are. But
yeah.
I'm gonna look while you carry on.
Yeah, you keep looking. So yeah, I mean, we're loving at the minute all the chat about tactics and things like that, and people commenting.
It's really good.
So keep it up, because we do try and engage, and we do the reason we ask questions is because we're genuinely excited to understand a bit more about the game. Hopefully, it helps you guys out. So
definitely,
if it does, put it in the comments.
Yeah, Kenneth Christiansen is the good man who responded with the math hammer there.
So big shout out to Kenneth and lots of other people that also do like math hammer or suggestions or pointing out that I shouldn't be, going toe to toe with multiple times and things like this.
Sure.
So loads of tactical stuff from you guys is really, really useful. Keep it up, and hopefully this battle report will have more of the same.
Yes, absolutely. The mistakes that lead to the comments.
We make mistakes, so you don't have to.
Yeah, too right. We teased, am I going to play anyone except Warriors? Of course, I'm not going to play anyone except Warriors. It's going to be Warriors again, of course. So this is my third battle in this one tournament against Warriors. The only other battle was against KOE, who obviously have a lot of armor as well. So surely my AP heavy Saurians is loving this, right? Yes and no. I had one victory in round 1. I drew in round 2, so that was fine. Round 3 was a tough one for me. Went down 4-16. We won't go back into that. And this one, so I've got Warriors again. And it's against Ben Dunford, which is great because, I get on very well with Ben. I get on well with everyone, to be fair.
He's a Patreon, isn't he?
He is. Yes. He is, yes.
So,
and thank you to Ben.
Big shout out to Ben.
And all our other Patreons, of course. Yeah, definitely. And so I was really pleased to go against Ben. I started day 2 as well, so I had a chance to look at his list, etc., and weigh up what was good and what wasn't. So should we have a little look at the listios? My list the same as it is. I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's working out the way I'm intending. But interestingly, I decided to deploy this one slightly different. So
we'll see.
So I had a lot of time to look at Ben's list, and 3 chosen lords scare the hell out of me. I don't know if we could spend 10 minutes more talking about the different chosen lords in this list. I would suggest pause it if you're really, really interested in picking it apart, because it would take a long time to go through. But effectively, they are all scary as hell, and they can cause me problems on their own.
Absolutely.
I mean, the fact that they're all 500 points plus suggests that they're going to be pretty decent.
Yeah, well, they all one up armor. There's an Entropic.
There or thereabouts.
The top guy, Sloth and Entropic Aura, is a great shout. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the one with the D3 wounds?
That's the Burning Portent.
Burning Portent, the second one. That one kills my Tegu veteran instantly.
Yeah, doesn't your Tegu veteran only have Fortitude as well? So
Burning Portent is flaming, armor and Fortitude. So he runs for the hills. So we'll see how I deal with that as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, alongside these three sorcerers, chosen Lord, he's got one sorcerer, which is cool, Alchemy, very nice. And he's put Ranger's boots on, which was a nice little shout out to the whole Fallen bunker, actually. Because if you remember, the sorcerer has 2 less movement than the Fallen.
Yes.
But give him a Ranger's boots, and he now has the same movement.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful. That's a nice touch. 21 warriors with Gluttony. So that is the... what's Gluttony?
You gain a strength.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
After you've won the combat.
Warhounds, so traditionally in the me versus Ben battle, caused me problems. Feldrax, chosen, 9 chosen. Chosen lucky 6s.
Chosen. Love it.
Yes.
Greed chosen as well, so the utility chosen.
They got all the weapons. And then a marauding giant with a monstrous familiar, which he took Hellfire.
Yeah, he's double Hellfire by the looks of it.
Yeah, it comes up. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We also played Search for Scabfat, so we were selecting a terrain feature and hoping we poker faced it up correctly and got the right terrain feature out. We talk more about that in your battle, so we probably don't need to go through that.
Yeah, go back and watch that.
Yeah,
snippet and then come back.
And I'll talk about the psychology when we get to it in this one. So let's. I've got some pictures of Ben's models because they're beautiful. Coming up in a bit. So
for example.
Oh yeah. For example. So let's talk about his deployment. So we've got 9 chosen on the left-hand side. I think they've got a chosen lord in with them. Then we got the warriors. Then we've got the chosen chariot lord. Then the warhounds in kind of 2x2 formation. You got the giant directly behind the house, and you got the fallen with the sorcerer behind them. And on the right-hand side is the Feldrax. For me, I can't remember, do I go first in this one? We'll find out in a minute. But for me, looking at his list, I was terrified of the Chosen Lords. The Warriors, not easy to get through in any circumstances. The Chosen, get the hell away from me. The Warhounds I can deal with, maybe. The Fallen I can deal with, but I'm probably not getting to them. The Giant I can deal with him in combat or out. The Feldrax, they are my unit that I think I can get points off. I think I can take them in combat. Sure, they'll do some damage to me. So when Ben deployed like this with his Feldrax out wide, I was like, ooh, that's a chance. So I was homing in on those Feldrax.
And they're out wide because they have the Banner of Discipline, aren't they, as well?
Banner of Discipline, and also there were potentially 3 terrain pieces where the Scabfat could be deployed. One was the forest that the Feldrax were in. One was the ruins on the left near the Chosen, and one was the hill that my Raptors, those guys are on. Going into my list, my Raptors are on the hill. The Skink Hunters just to the right of them. Then the Tegu Warriors behind them, the bunker unit, which doesn't have any characters in, so it's not really a bunker unit. I've got my big unit of Saurians, Tegu, with my veteran in there, plus the Thyroscutus, of course. Then I've got the Ramphrodons behind them. I do not want them charging into anything unless I want them to, so I'm playing a bit defensively with them this time around. I deployed my Carnosaur out of his unit. This was something that I wanted to do at the end of the battle versus Tim, and it made me think that Carnosaur can be a threat if I'm not going against a shooty army. So the fact that I've only come across this in round 4, when technically I've gone against Warriors, Equitane, didn't have a lot of shooting, and I'm only just now deploying him as a separate threat. Maybe that's on me. Should have thought of it a bit earlier.
Shooting also includes magic, though.
It does, and there is alchemy, magic, and hellfire obviously about in this one. So we'll see how it goes. Got the Skink veteran behind him, hiding out for a chat later. Then we've got my Tegu guard on the right hand side with the Anarach. And part of me putting my magic Anarach out there was because I had a plan. I had a plan, and here is Ben's wonderful models. He's
so
such a good painter.
They're
really brilliant.
The blending on the weapon there, you can see with the red and yellow, is just awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, obviously he uses orc models as warriors. Like nothing wrong with that.
Shout out to Paul Godbold as well. Who's looking for a similar thing.
Definitely is, and he's a great painter as well. So
lovely unit filler there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It just works across the board, you know. Like you might think using orcs as warriors. No, no, no. This fits perfectly fine.
And is no, that's good. I was going to say, is that freehand on the banners, or is it?
Oh, I don't know. Ben, comment.
Yeah,
You're
it
a
looks
regular viewer,
very good,
so
and to the point where I'm doubting whether it's freehand or a stencil. So well done, initially.
either way.
Yeah.
To be honest, either way, the stencil,
Oh
even
yeah,
the stencil is beyond me. So you know, doesn't take much to be beyond me. Looks like I'm going first. Great. Which possibly is even more. Oh, did we do a little back and forth? We might have done a back and forth, and then I won the turn actually to go first, which was fine by me. My Ramphadons look like. So
well, I think you're going to say the same thing in terms of blot toading the fallen and the.
Yeah, exactly. Does that give you a hint as to what my plan was? Yeah, my Ramphadons have used their vanguard and movement to get further out to the right flank. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the Feldrax and Ramphadons.
So you kind of stay on that side and move up on this side.
I was really torn. I mean, I'm flanking round already, moving the Tegu Guard forward as far as I can move them.
Yeah.
I got my Anorak Archmage so that you could just see the back corner of the giant with magic, which is where my magic's going, and that was part of the plan. I deployed trying that, so maybe the giant had gone down early enough for me to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I just sort of wheel the rest. The Tegu warriors at the back have already started their movement to the right, so that gives you an even greater hint of what my plan is. The Raptors are staying on the hill just for the Scabbat reveal. I got Pyroclastic Flow and Unerring Strike off on the Feldrax because that is very much. They were my spells that I was trying to get Ben to dispel.
He must have let off Pyro Flow.
He let them both off.
Yeah. Because you're re-roll into wound, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. They don't do a lot to the Feldrax. So I was pleased to do 2 wounds overall with both spells. So that was fine. But it did mean that his giant mostly. Or did I do some wounds to it? What's the next picture?
No, I think that would have been it. 2 spells is quite a lot.
I think that's probably it. But yeah, we'll see. So I think this is just a picture of me moving up, really. Yeah, nothing more to show in that one, I don't think. And so Ben reacted as so. It wasn't as aggressive as I was fearing, actually. I was more than happy with this opening statement. His chosen had, I think they got a relentless banner. I think. They could.
No, the chosen have Wasteland Torch, which is why they're in the ruins.
No. Okay. Maybe the warriors had the relentless banner then.
Yeah.
But yes. So he moved forward relatively defensively, not getting into me yet.
I mean, they're only movement 10 and 8.
Yeah, true. So maybe he went mostly as far as he could. I don't know, but it was okay for me. I was happy enough with that.
Yeah.
He got Quicksilver Lash. He cast it on a 6, needing a 6.
Oh,
well, it was only an apprentice. How did he? What's the 6 represent? I'm confused. Don't worry about it. I think he did a wound. Oh no. Did I save it with a 6?
You wouldn't have saved any armor saves.
No, I wouldn't have done. And I had. No, I didn't have an Aegis or anything. So I don't know what the 6 represents, but I took a picture of Quicksilver Lash. There you go, folks.
This is where the
Scabbat came out. Yes. So basically, I picked the forest on the right. He picked the ruins, which meant it appeared on the hill. So the one that neither of us picked. Now, I mean, the way I thought about it was I chose the forest because if he chose the forest, that meant the Feldrax had it, and I was homing in on them. So I was fine with that. I chose the forest because if he chose the hill, then it was on the ruins, and I wasn't planning on going near those chosen anyway. So my plan was to get the points to make up the objective.
Yeah.
And actually, this scenario where I chose the forest and he chose the ruins, which meant it was on the hill, was possibly the worst for me.
Okay.
Because it gave me a choice. Because I would have been happier if the chosen got the objective and had to waste a turn or stay there for a while or be more defensively to hold on to it. This was the worst thing for me because I had a unit of raptors, scoring raptors right there. They could pick that up, but then they would be slow as hell in getting the hell out of there. And they had to move ever so slightly. and that was possibly my mistake in deployment. If I'd have actually had
Sure,
them on the center of that terrain piece,
then
they could have picked it up. I could have moved them away. It wouldn't have been a march, but I could have moved them away straight away. So that was possibly my mistake.
Yeah.
And that's why that was the worst conclusion. You'd think having Scabbat appear near your unit is the best thing, but actually the psychology and the way I'd worked it out, this was the worst.
Sure.
But it's fine. So in my turn, I ummed and ahed about what to do with the Raptors. I decided, well, this objective is there to win. I'll try and get it. So I sidestepped onto the objective in my turn 2 with the Raptors. And now it's all about, can I keep them alive? Whatever. It looks like the Stygiusaur, no, the Carnosaur, sorry, has taken a wound from Quicksilver Lash, by the way. So, however that ended up. My Skink Hunters anchor the line as my everything else books it in that direction. Which gives up my plan entirely as to that I'm not taking on your army, really. The Tegu Guard have moved forward. And yeah, I think that's probably about that. So this is me moving on to the objective. Over the side, in my 2 turns, my Tegu Veteran has legged it out of the Tegu Guard using his Ranger's boots, and I've now actually moved him beyond the Tegu Guard. I'm tempting his Feldrax to charge me. The Feldrax are in the front of the Tegu Guard, so I don't think they'll take that charge because they'll get minced. Maybe do a bit of damage. I'm tempting him to come into my Lord and trigger my Spear, which will make me even more deadly. I've got multiple wounds 2 against large if he triggers the 5-up wounding. So I'm thinking my Tegu guy can take on that unit of Feldrax and kill them over time. And I would have been happy if Ben charged that early, and then I could move on potentially. And of course, all I'm doing with my Tegu Veteran is keeping him away from Burning Fortum, which will kill him instantly. So that's all the way out the other side of the board, which is great. I did a fantastic outcome with Fate's Judgment and got 6 wounds on the giant. Rolled a good old D6 and got 6. So luck was in my favour there, which reduced this giant to 1 wound remaining. So that was absolutely
He's angry.
Brilliant, you know? He's angry. That was the spell I'd failed to get off in the turn before, which is why the Feldrax had taken a bit of a hit. Is this his turn? This is after his turn. He doesn't take the charge, which I think is probably the right thing to do. Moves the Feldrax backwards a bit.
Was he unable to march past you?
Possibly not.
Because looking back, my thought was that he would march past you and just...
I don't think he would have been. What was he? Is he movement 8?
Yeah, movement 8, 16. And it would be the whole unit footprint, so it'd be pretty tough. But if he could, I would have marched through and triggered the frenzy check.
Yeah. And the Ramphanons would have died to the Feldrax without support.
But
yeah, potentially.
Presumably, I'm going to say he couldn't because...
Yeah, Ben's a good player. Ben would have seen that if it was an option, I think. But I didn't defend against it, put it that way. So that's the first I've even thought about that. So yeah.
But he moved back anyway.
He moved back, which is fine. Absolutely fine by me. And he moved the Fallen back with the Sorcerer, seeing my Carnosaur working his way around, which is pretty much the plan I was making. The Chariot moved forward, the Chosen Lord Chariot poked his head out. The Chosen have now marched through the ruins, which is fine. And the Warriors are moving up as well. Obviously, they're homing in on the Raptors, who've got the objective Scabfat in a minute. So the line is closing over there, and his War Dogs release the Hounds or whatever it is. Come up and give my Raptors a problem. His flying Chosen Lord comes out as well to make an even bigger threat, which is really boxing my Raptors in.
Absolutely.
And immediately I'm thinking, I should have just got them out of there. You know, playing for Scabfat was possibly too much of a difficulty, but I'm going to give it a go. So, you know. So this was interesting. I got lucky in the fact that Hellfire only did 1 wound to me. But, oh my god, I didn't realise Hellfire doesn't need line of sight.
Yeah.
And the giant just basically cast Hellfire on my Carnosaur, and I was like, you can't do that, you can't see him, there's a big building there. Because I was reliant on the fact that the giant wouldn't come out of line of sight, wouldn't come out because he'd die to the Anarach's magic, etc. So when the giant moved back, I was like, oh, okay, he's got 1 wound left. This is going to be tricky to get all the points for it. But at least he's not a threat anymore. and then he just starts hellfiring
Hellfiring,
through a
right?
building.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's not right.
Because it's a hex, isn't it? It's not.
It's a hex, or direct damage rather than missile. One or the other.
Yeah, it's not missile, which is the thing you
Not missile,
need. It's
which
a
makes
bit
me line
like
of sight.
Grave Calls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all of evocation, to be fair, is very similar. And yeah, so I got lucky in the fact that he did 1 wound to me. He did cast it on. He did do 11 hits on me though.
Yeah.
So I got really lucky with my armor saves. I don't know if I even took a picture of the dice.
Well, AP 0, so it'd be
exactly. I was 3 up armor.
11 hits, wounded on threes with 3 up. So
yeah, exactly.
Do the maths, guys. How much should he have taken?
Well, how much should I have taken? Yeah, 2 right. Brilliant. I declare a charge with my Take a Veteran because I want that. I want that. I think I can handle this. That is my one plan. And it means I can free up the Take a Guard. I decided to charge the dogs because I'm fighting my way out of a paper bag, basically. He'd really done well at taking my angles away. Like with the Chosen Lord,
especially
on the hill.
Getting on the hill.
Exactly. Yeah, so there wasn't really a way out, so I decided to fight my way out and see how that works out. I moved my Carnosaur out like so, and I moved my Ramphilons forward a bit now that I think the Take a Veteran is anchoring the line.
Oh, you are really confident of it.
I'm banking on the Take a Veteran.
Like, oh my days.
Are you not agreeing with me here?
I don't know. I
Ben was surprised too.
But
Ben was surprised too.
To not only do that, but to like turn your back. That is baller. That is.
I did the same against Kingdom of Equitane, if you remember.
Yeah.
With Ryan, I stuck my Take a Veteran in front of Unit Knights Resplendent. I back this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, absolutely. There's no on the fence there.
No. Charge the Warhounds, and the Skink Hunters do that what they do best, stand in front of the other units. The Chariot can charge into either of my units, and as much as that Chosen Lord is a beastly monster of a thing, he's not the one with burning portent, so he can't hurt my Thyroscutus in terms of killing it quickly. And I think I would grind out that Chariot once it had done its damage, really. Because neither of those 2 units, the Tegu Warriors or the Tegu Guard, are bad. So, I wasn't worried about him charging there. That's probably just more of a picture of how it ended up on that side, I think. And yeah, I buff up things. It's not Cascading Fire, for the record. It's Focus Cinders. But because I couldn't see the giant, because I can't see through a house, I couldn't finish off the giant, so I buffed my guy out to hell with Stars Alliant, Rod of Battle, and put Cloak of Cinders on them. I mean, that surely that makes you more confident, right? 3 spells, 1 to make him -1 to wound, and 2 to make me better.
No, that is
surely right.
3 spells is
Yeah, it's very good. I think there was actually 2 dice on the Cloak of Cinders there because I forced it through with 2 dice at the end, which was cheeky of me. And so I didn't take any wounds from him. I didn't really do a lot to him though.
I think you did 5, didn't you?
I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 5. Yeah. With 5 attacks, when you multiple wounds 2 against large, when you're re-rolling to hit,
how did you do 5?
Got +1 to hit.
You must have done 4.
No, it's not multiple wounds 2 always.
Oh,
it's only
right.
multiple wounds 2 if I get 5 to wound.
I'm with you.
So that's why. But I was hitting on 2s, re-rollable. I was strength 6, so wounding on 3s.
With 5 attacks.
And the 5 and 6, 5 attacks, yeah. And with the 5s, I would be doing multiple wounds too. I was kind of expecting to kill 2 of them, but I'm fine with this.
I suppose you'd only need to do 1 more wound, so to kill 2.
1 more wound to kill 2. Yeah. So I was hoping to do, 6 wounds overall, but this was fine. I took none in return.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
He even got close, so Cloak of Cinders obviously helped that. So
yeah, great.
All is good. All is good with my gambit. Over here, the Raptors don't kill all the dogs, and that's disappointing for me. And I won't go into too much about after tournament thoughts, etc. at this point because we're only in round 4. But the Raptors just don't kill enough, right? If you can't actually kill 8 dogs, and I get that I only had 8 raptors with their riders
12
attacking
attacks.
8 dogs. No,
yeah.
it's and possibly a champion in the front as well.
Are you offensive 3?
Yeah. Obviously, Lodestone doesn't cook in because there's no armor.
Yeah.
So I was a bit disappointed because I had 9 attacks in the front. I had 13 attacks from the riders. I had 8 attacks from the raptors.
Yeah.
I feel like they should have gone through 8 dogs. I just didn't.
I was surprised.
So, I mean, a lot of that could be bad luck on the dice, but this happened again and again when my raptors just weren't doing it. And the issue is, if I'm giving up the points for the raptors, because let's face it, they're in a lot of trouble right there.
Yeah.
You want to have at least got 119 points for the warhounds. You don't want to just go away with 56 points or whatever it is, instead 59. So yeah, it was a bit like, okay, and I just overrun to there. I flee the charge, obviously, in the hope I can get away.
Double flee, it seems.
Double flee, it is, because I've also fleed the skink hunters as well. And it does mean that both my units get away, which is great, because
they failed.
He didn't catch either of them. I don't know who he was. Looks like he's gone after the skink hunters and wheeled slightly.
Yeah.
I think he would have hit the dogs, or no, something would have happened. But anyway, so this is his overall movement, and his dogs go through my skink hunters and survive with their fleeing. They don't rally yet, he's chosen chariot, just toes the line. His chosen are moving up, looking aggressive, and his flying chosen lord is just boxing me in all round, really. So there's that. Over here, pretty much stalemate. He's not getting to that side of the board yet. Yeah. So all is well. Oh, baby. He killed my Carnosaur. It had 3 wounds left. It was another Hellfire. I think this is one I let through because he had Quicksilver Lash, which is more damaging to it, or more likely to do problems, because he has no armor against Quicksilver Lash. And all he needed was a 3-up on his D3 to kill it, basically, because it's D3 plus 1 Quicksilver Lash, isn't it?
Yes.
So if he did 3 wounds to it, then my Carnosaur's definitely dead. So Quicksilver Lash was the spell to dispel, and Hellfire kills him. This time I can't gripe about the whole "you can't see me through a building" thing, but at the same time, I could have actually moved the Carnosaur away because I didn't actually need him. I wasn't really expecting to get round the building to fight anything, because that would just be going into the Valley of Charge of the Light Brigade-esque in towards your magic. So technically I could have moved my Carnosaur away, and I paid for it, lost his points. So in combat, my Tegu veteran still not taking any wounds in return, so he's doing a good job.
Happy with that.
And I'm chipping away, which was exactly the plan. So that's fine. The skink hunter, the skink veteran, charges the warhounds in my turn to get them out of the way.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. They run away. Don't know where to. Can't see them, but he doesn't catch them. So it doesn't clear the way. We'll see where the skink veteran ends up in a minute, I think. Clearly not in the way of the Tegu guard, I don't think. No, I'm completed the charge. Yeah,
this is showing.
But my other charge is the Ramphadons into the Feldrax. Now, are there any sirens going off with that charge in your head, Lone Sixes?
Not at this point, I don't think. What's the agility of everyone?
I am, I think, 5 on the charge with Ramphadons.
So you're going first?
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I would have taken that.
Cool. Good to know. Carry on. Yeah, my skink veteran charges and blocks my Tegu guard, which is a little bit annoying, because the war dogs do indeed get away behind the forest. At least I think they get away. I don't know. We might find out later. Can't really see them there. Oh no, maybe he's got 8 warhounds off the board actually in his casualty pile. So maybe I caught them.
Yeah, he must have fled like 2 inches.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not too important, but either way, my skink veterans ended up there. And so these guys get in, which is great.
I think it's good.
Okay, good.
Oh,
and then they die. So little known rule: is that
Oh,
featured against flying, don't they?
yeah, they do.
And so I did a fair few wounds to the Feldrax, including my Lord, my Tegu veteran, who were all attacking first ahead of the Feldrax. It left one Feldrax with 2 wounds left. He went mental on my Ramphadons and did exactly 6 wounds to my Ramphadons. Is that possible for a Feldrax? 6 attacks? Oh.
It looks like, but your Spear Lord probably went after the Feldrax, right?
Yeah, no, that's probably right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because he didn't have his spear bonuses or anything. Yeah, so he probably had 2 Feldrax left at that point.
Yeah,
and I give him my Ramphadon.
Oh, okay.
So that was really annoying in the end.
Yes,
that's a mistake on my part. I didn't need the Ramphadons in that combat. My Lord was doing it, and nothing was near us. With the Tegu Guard behind me, no one's interrupting that combat. Yeah. And I've got like 6 more turns of combat to do it.
No, it's fair. It's fair enough. It's fair enough.
That is me giving him 235 points for free, basically. So, dang. This is the rest of my movement. So I'm just anchoring my line. I rally my.
This Raptors. Is possibly his turn, no?
Yes, it is, because he has moved his flying Chosen Lord all the way around, and he's moved his Chosen onto the hill nicely in that position. But he hasn't come very far forward aggressively with his warriors. So he's obviously respecting my Tegu warriors and my Tegu Guard.
Yeah.
Which is actually something I found quite a lot in the tournament.
Yeah.
That they were causing people more scariness than I perhaps appreciated going into the tournament. So, yeah. I don't know, maybe if because I'd had a few battles where they performed really well, people had cottoned on to the fact that I had a lot of faith in them and they were doing quite well, so stay away from them.
Yeah.
Because this definitely looked like he was staying away from me and I was staying away from him. So it was a funny one. I finish off the Feldrax. Do take a little cheeky wound on the veteran.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously the Ramphadon sped that up at least. But my Tegu veteran is not coming anywhere near the rest of combat. Not going near that Lord.
Done his job, yeah.
Yeah, he was job done, yeah. So this was interesting, right? Hear me out. I had dropped Scabfat because I fled the charge.
Yeah.
So the warriors have now picked up Scabfat. Okay. There's not that many of them, and they've only got hand weapon shield.
So say only. What is it? 18-ish?
What, the charge?
No, 18-ish warriors.
Yeah, they're not a huge unit either. I think it's 21. But
okay.
Yeah. So he's got a 3-up armor save because he's using hand weapon shield. So he's pretty tough. But I figured, let me charge this in, buff up my raptors as much as I can with all my magic, and just see if I can get some points before my raptors die. I mean, obviously the counter charge from his chariot will finish off my raptors if I'm there for too long.
Mm-hmm.
But that might give the chance for my Tegu Guard and my Tegu Warriors to get forward and threaten what's left.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting to win with my raptors, but I was thinking I could hurt him and potentially bypass his Chosen with this. And worst case scenario, I'd already thought through, well, worst case scenario was I failed the charge and I moved forward enough, and I'd already measured that if I then fled from his Chosen, I flee and I'm still on the board.
All right, there we go.
If I flee from the warriors, then I am also still on the board because his flying guy is at a different angle. So I'd worked out my flee paths if I don't get the charge.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a, YOLO. With
why not? Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I get in. So now's the time to put your money where your mouth is, with your spells. He's got Word of Iron on his warriors as well. Probably tiny thing to mention. So he's a 2-up armor.
Yeah.
It's not ideal. I am only strength 5 after all.
Yeah.
So, he's back to a 4-up. But yeah, there's that. And I move as so, anchoring my line very much. So I've already hinted at the fact that my raptors weren't doing that well in situations that I wanted them to. Oh, actually, looks like he's got Hand of Glory on the Chosen, actually. It wasn't. He has got Word of Iron on them as well, but it's the card behind.
Yeah.
I get Cloak of Cinders off, so he is -1 to wound against me. I do nothing to him, and he kills 5 of me. Now, he's only strength 4, AP 1. I got a 2-up armor save. And he was -1 to wound. So he was wounding me on 5s.
I don't think
I was
that's the
saving
maths.
on 3-ups.
That's definitely against
There's
the
definitely
maths.
a math hammer there for you
Yeah.
folks. Because I don't think I should have lost 5. Now, irrespective of what I should have killed, because Word of Iron, 4-up armor save, that could spike one way or the other, you know. And I wasn't really expecting to kill that many warriors. I don't think I should have lost that many. Now, it doesn't really change my game plan, but it would have been nice not to have lost 5.
Yeah. Did you hold?
I held. So there is that. Maybe could have caused him to slow him down a bit
so
more.
this is after movement.
This is after Ben's following turn. He moves his giant up to chaff my Tegu guard. And he was his chosen lord back. So clearly he just doesn't fancy the fight with me. And now he knows that his warriors can deal with my raptors, no problem.
Yeah.
So why would he charge in there?
Yeah.
So that game plan has failed because the raptors are shizer. He moves around with his flying lord, still moving around and boxing me in. But the chosen on the hill have got scab fat. So they're being a little bit cautious. Because if he makes a move with them and I get to charge with my warriors, and then
you've got enough bodies.
I've got enough bodies
annoy
to deal
chosen
with. Yeah,
because
exactly.
they will take half of you out, and then you'll just take them out.
Exactly. So he has to be cautious, and he is holding the objective. So I think that's probably the right thing. The warriors, you can see how many there are there. He's 6 wide with a unit filler. Didn't even dent them.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't even dent them. And I know they had armor buff, but still. I now realise that the Chosen are not really going to threaten my Tigger warriors. So I turn towards the Chosen Lord. I wanted him to charge me, but Ben's not stupid. No. So didn't expect he would. It was a bit of an insulting move, to be fair.
He wouldn't charge you if you had the flank, to be fair.
No, exactly. He hadn't taken that shot all game. And what was interesting was this, I think this was our last turn, actually. We knew it was our last turn. I think it was only turn 5, but we'd all talked about it long in advance, so it was all good. His giant only has 1 wound left. And because Ben went after me, I didn't want to charge with my Tegu guard and then be countercharged by his warriors, his chosen, and his chosen chariot. So I decided to rely on magic to kill the last wound on his giant. I cast Fate's Judgment. He dispelled it. And Ben was rolling 5+ with all his dice at this point. So these dice might even be accurate as to what he rolled. I cast Pyroclastic Flow. He dispelled it. I did Unerring Strike. And just as we were gearing up for the Skink Hunter with his javelin to be the one to kill the giant because magic had failed, Unerring Strike came through. So after all that, I killed it with Unerring Strike. But it was my 3rd spell that did it. Like, seriously, that was tough. And this is the last picture, and I'll probably go into what this is a bit more, right? So there was a standoff apart from that. I got the points for the giant. No, nothing. He didn't charge anything. He went home with the objective. End of his turn. Nothing else happened over there. We realized that basically I'd fed him my raptors and I'd fed him my ramphadons. Yeah. Because neither achieved anything in charging what they did in the end. Sure. I could have maybe just fled or not got in with my raptors, etc. Yeah. And then it suddenly occurred to me, oh yeah, that Ramphadon was the biggest one because it was points I didn't need to give up. I forgot that Ramphadons had Fortitude 6 up. And didn't do the saves for that. And so he said, I'll go on, tease yourself and roll yourself 6 Fortitude saves. Because the Feldrax did exactly 6 wounds to my 6 wound Ramphadons. And I would have only taken 3. So the Ramphadons shouldn't have given up their
in the first turn.
Well, there was only 1 Feldrak left.
Yeah.
Chances are.
The game of remembering.
The game of remembering comes round again. Remember your Fortitude saves, even if it's 6 up. I mean, that's a good roll, to be fair. If only my save was 3 up, right? Anywho, so Ben walks away, the proud owner of Scabfat, which was looking on the cards right from the off. Points-wise, just about pipped him, but it does mean a 10-10 turns into a 7-13 defeat. I really enjoyed that game. It was a great tit for tat. Yeah. Ben's a great opponent. Models look brilliant. Really enjoyed it. a bit aggrieved by Hellfire still. Still bitter about Hellfire being able to see through a building. And it was down to my mistakes. I let him have the Raptor points. I let him have the Rampedon points. I could have literally, even the Carnosaur, I could have played better to not lose the Carnosaur's points. I think all the points Ben got, I gave him. That's not an insult to Ben because he still deserves the win and all that. But I could have played better and not given up any of my points. And then killed the Feldrax and the Warhounds and walked away a happy man.
Sure.
But yeah. Good battle though, really enjoyable. So it puts me on. So go on.
And we're still pretty happy with the matchup against Warriors.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, losing that doesn't bother me because that actually showed me that maybe I need to be more aggressive with my units.
Yeah.
If Warriors aren't going to fight me, maybe I need to go and fight them.
Yeah, and that's
showed
Tim
me that.
and Ben both done
Tim
that.
and Ben both sat off.
James,
yeah. James sat off as well. I went to him, but I got a narrow victory there. So this is maybe showing me maybe people can be afraid of a fighty Saurian list. Maybe I need to be a bit more aggressive. So, great game, Ben. Really enjoyed it. Puts me on 33 points, which is a bit low. So it's a bit disappointing as an overall tournament.
Yeah.
But I'm having some good games.
Yeah.
So, all good. So, yeah. Good stuff. I'll be interested to see the comments in that one, especially at my tactical blunders, Ramphilons, Carnosaur, Raptor, all of them thrown away to little gain. How would you have played that? Would you have gone for their throat? Would you have run at them instead of letting them run at you? I'd love to know what people would have done. Yeah. And this is obviously bearing in mind that the Saurian book has changed dramatically. So there's a limit to how much it can help.
I'll put a link to the video that explains that one.
Yeah, it explains everything. My finest moment. Anyway,
yeah.
Great. I hope you enjoyed that one, folks. Remember to comment, subscribe, like, share, click the button, notifications, Patreon. Ben, you're awesome, as are all your Patreons. We're coming up to a mega battle, and the Patreons are going to be getting involved in that.
Yeah.
So if you want a piece of the pie, the Patreon pie, then join us.
Yeah, and if you're one of our Patreons that isn't directly involved in that currently, we've still got a week or so to go. So
let us know.
Let us know via Patreon or most of us have the numbers anyway. So
join Team Hyper G or Team Lucky Sixes.
Yeah,
don't join him. Looking forward to it. Let's go. It's round 5 for you next.
Yes, the last of the day. See you later.